in this outer ring is something that we are calling principles or lenses through which we look at the various elements. I want to just start with the first lens. Accessibility looks at each of those elements and considers how equitable or how inclusive they might be. Just having housing isn't sufficient. We want housing that in fact is equitable to all parts of the community. We want it to be available and affordable. And one of the issues that we are constantly having in our location is the fact that we've got some housing, but do we have, for example, sufficient social housing to attract or to service all of the different sectors in our population? Another principle that we might have is that of connectivity. And we know that a connected community is incredibly important in order to develop social cohesion and inclusiveness. So connectivity considers the means and ways that we connect. It's not just digital connectivity, which we all complain about a lot, because we know that we have areas within the Great South Coast that are black spots and that prevent everybody from necessarily being able to use digital connectivity. But it's more than that. It's also the ability to connect through our social networks and to be able to connect to services, wherever we are located, whether it is in a regional center or whether we are really quite rural. It is being able to use those to optimize our participation in our communities and to collaborate for optimal outcomes. The next one that we're talking about is diversity. And diversity is about saying, hey, it's not only having one grocery store, it's not just having one form, but it is having a range of different options or choices so that we can have a diverse population that expresses the full richness of the various cultures, the various mindsets that contribute to better outcomes. And we talk about, for example, is there only one grocery store in town? Is there only one GP that I have the option to go to? So diversity is especially important as we become more and more culturally and ethnically diverse. The next one that we're talking about is flexibility. And flexibility really is about our ability to adapt and to change with changing circumstance. And haven't we had a lot of changing circumstance this year? We have had to be flexible in the way that we conduct our business, in the way that we live because of the pandemic. And it is about whether or not our community has the capacity to be flexible enough to adapt to what comes down the pipeline. Finally, we have the principle of sustainability. And sustainability obviously is looking into the future and making sure that we are using our resources, using what we have in an efficient, effective way so that we are not borrowing from future generations. And climate change has really hit that principle in the last year. We've had bushfires, we've had droughts. We know that that is something that has to be factored in to our framework. Now, those are the principles or lenses through which we look at the various elements.